Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shalom. Welcome to the temple and to the Brotherhood No Rehearsal Choir Shabbat. We are celebrating the beginning of a new book in the Torah, in the 5 books of Moses. We're beginning this week to read from the book of Numbers, the book that tells of the wandering of our people in the wilderness for almost 40 years. And we're going to celebrate not only with the beautiful music coming from the Brotherhood's choir, but also with gravlax and matzah and some unique bourbon right after the service. Everyone is invited to that. We begin our service singing the Sabbath blessing. Turn to page 172 to sing together Matovu. As we turn to page 195 for the Baruch Hu.
La
אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, יוצר אור ובורא חושך, עושה שלום ובורא את הכל, המאיר לארץ ולדרים עליה ברחמים, ובטובו מחדש בכל יום תמיד מעשה וראשית. מה רבו מעשיך אדוני, כולם בחוכמה עשית. מלאה הארץ קנייניך, תתברך אדוני אלוהינו, על שבח מעשה ידיך, ועל מאורי אור שעשית יפארוך הסלע. אור חדש על ציון תאיר, ונזכה כולנו מהרה לאורו. ברוך אתה אדוני, יוצר המאורות. And we read together. The world is sunlight, restoring the soul, rejoicing the heart, bringing light to the eyes, more welcome than gold, a Torah from heaven. I have no light to give the morning. My Torah, my special human gift is words. As I bring my words forth from silence, welcome them, you redeems the sun from darkness. Baruch Ata Adonai, Yotzer HaMeorot. And we turn to page 200 for the calling of the Shema. Please be seated. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. turn now to page 204 to sing together Milchamot. Rise as we turn to page 205 for the tefillah. ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. Source of all being, we turn to you as did our people in ancient days. They beheld you in the heavens, they felt you in their hearts, they sought you in their lives. Their quest is ours. Help us to see the wonder of being. Give us the courage to search for truth. Teach us the path to a better life. So shall we, by our lives and our labors, bring nearer the world we envision, one of justice, freedom, and peace. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezras Sarah. And we read together, You are the open door that beckons me in. Peeking around the door frame, I begin to enter into your glory. You move me forward, O Eternal, to step beyond self-made boundaries. Lift my foot over the threshold, that I might abide with you. In the house of the Eternal.
My questions wait to be posed. They fill me with wonder. Sit with me, eternal teacher. Encourage my seeking. As I fill my hours with your mitzvot, so shall I be filled. Send me through your door, stretching up to honor your name, sharing out this wonder, enriching myself in the giving.
Blessed are you, Adonai, who gives life to all. Baruch atah Adonai, mechaye hakol.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ, כבודו. אדיר, אדירנו, אדוני, אדוננו, מה אדיר שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני במקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהינו, גדול נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש. ושיחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
To all generations we will make known your greatness, and to all eternity proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O God, shall never depart from our lips. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated.
מקדשי שבי שבת, כולם יספעו ויתענגו מטובך שבת.
Turn to page 216 for the blessing for Shalom. O God, may we never become complacent, faltering in our effort to build a world of peace. Let the nations know and understand that justice and right are better than dominion and conquest. May all come to see that it is not by might nor by power, but by your Spirit that life prevails. Praised are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace. ברוך אתה אדוני, המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום.
Sing, 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 shalom, sing, 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 shalom, sing, 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 shalom, tova uracha. Sing, lai, 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 lai,
The Mishaberach, the prayer for courage and strength and healing in our lives, is on page 253. Turn now to Seder Kriyat Torah LeShabbat, the order of reading from the Torah on Shabbat, on page 244. Please rise. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Our God is one, Adonai is great, holy is God's name. Please be seated. We begin a new book today, the book of Numbers. In Hebrew it's called Bamidbar, which means in the wilderness. Our rabbis refer to it as Chumash Pekudim, the one book of the 5 books of Moses that is dedicated to counting and noticing the people. It has all of that in there. It has a lot of numbers, the numbers of each one of the tribes of Israel, everyone that is counted. It has also a description of all the wandering for 49 years in the desert. The first year was told us already in the book of Exodus, so we read about it before. And it would lead us all the way till the banks of the mighty Jordan River, almost into the land of Israel, and then we'll have the book of Deuteronomy to tell us everything again. We're going to read from the beginning. We're going to see the commandment to Moses to take account of the people, and we should notice one issue that unfortunately is still a big issue in our society, and that is who is counted, and maybe more important, who is not counted. Who are the people? In Hebrew we have a saying, we call it the people that are transparent, that you don't see them. I think that in English you call it invisible people, but I think that transparent is actually a stronger thing, because invisible is like they don't exist, someone that is not visible, but transparent, that means you see them, but you see through them. So it's even stronger. They're among us, but you don't really notice them. You don't take count and account of them. So we will ask our question there. I just want to say those statements and those commandments were not only written a long time ago. I think that when we read the Torah, we should not only consider the context of when it was written, but also the wisdom that we can learn from everything there, even things that we do not agree with. And I want to say another thing, there are also other counts in the Torah. There are other places where everyone is counted, literally everyone, more than we count, because we have to admit we don't count everyone either. Even when we take a census, not everyone is counted. There are those who are not counted. So it's not like we are so much advance of what we read here, but we should take also that in the Torah we see other places where everyone, literally everyone, is counted, more inclusive than we are today. So first let's say the blessing. Alan, would you lead us with the blessing for the Torah before we read from it? Baruch Adonai Amvorach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Amvorach Leolam Vaed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. וידבר אדוני אל משה במדבר סיני באוהל מועד באחד לחודש השני בשנה השנית לצאתה מארץ מצרים לאמור, שאו את ראש כל עדת בני ישראל למשפחותם, לבית אבותם, במספר שמות כל זכר לגולגולותם, מבין 20 שנה ומעלה כל יוצא צבא בישראל תפקדו אותם לצבאותם, אתה ואהרון, ואיתכם יהיו איש איש למטה, איש ראש לבית אבותיו הוא. And the translation to this is, on the first day of the second month, in the second year following the exodus from the land of Egypt, Adonai spoke to Moses in the wilderness of Sinai in the tent of meeting, saying, take a census, which is not a great translation. The Hebrew is S'u et rosh kol adat. S'u et rosh means count every head that is like raised above, that is high above. So it's not just counting, it's taking notice of every person. Take a census of the whole Israelite community by the clans of its ancestral houses, listing the names, every male head by head. You and Aaron shall record them by their groups from the age of 20 years up, all those in Israel who are able to bear arms. Associated with you shall be a representative of each tribe, each one the head of their ancestral houses. So I want to say something about there. The bottom line, and I think I mentioned that, it's not only who is counted, but who is not counted. And that is, if you followed carefully, the women and the children and the elderly. Only men 20 years and above that are fit for war are counted. Everybody else is not counted. So that's the problem. Let's look at the good parts that are here, and that is how you count. This is not the normal way of counting. First of all, just the order. It's not just count them, but it's take notice of everyone, the way they raise their heads, waiting to be counted. But then it says, according to their family or their clans, it says there, according to their ancestral homes, according to their names. So it's not just the number that is important, it's the name of every person, it's the family that they belong to, and it's the ancestral clan that they belong to. So you're actually noticing who you're actually counting. So again, there are problematic parts in what we read, but there's also a lot that we can take notice. I mentioned that today we are reading from the book of Numbers, the new book, and we're going to celebrate it with the Brotherhood Oneg after that. But that's not the only thing that is happening this week. This week also marks the beginning of Pride Month, which we celebrate here at the temple, and we're proud of. And just as we had to walk 40 years in the wilderness in order to get to the promised land, and we're still walking in our journey of life in order to get to our own promised land. And the book of Numbers, or the book of Bamidbar in the wilderness, according to the Hebrew, teaches us that there's no shortcuts in life, fortunately or unfortunately. God promised Moses, and Moses promised the people will go out of Egypt, and very soon we'll be in Israel. The plan was 3 months to receive the Torah, and then to go exactly to the land of Israel. But it didn't work. It got twists in the plan, and we ended up walking for 40 years in the desert. And our ancestors, everybody that came out of Egypt, except for 2 people, all had to die in the desert, and then the new generation actually got to go inside. The same is with what Pride Month is celebrating. We're proud of the achievements of our LGBTQ sisters and brothers and everyone that identifies as an LGBTQ. And at the same time, there's still a long journey to walk. Just like no one is in the promised land, even if you live in the land of Israel, you're not there yet in the promised land. We're not in the promised land either. I invite everyone to enjoy Pride Month and everything that was achieved in the journey so far, and also to come Friday night and Saturday morning to Pride Shabbat 2 weeks from now. I want to invite Ryan to rise to receive your blessing. And I want to say to you, Ryan Noach Malachi, Baruch haba b'shem Adonai, blessed are you who have come here in the name of God. Berachnucha mibet Adonai. We bless you in the house of Adonai. מי שברך אבותינו ואימותינו אברהם יצחק ויעקב שרה רבקה רחל ולאה, הוא יברך את אחינו נוח מלאכי בן אברהם אבינו ושרה אמנו בבואו להסתפח בנחלת ישראל ולהימנות על גרי הצדק בתוך עם אלוהי אברהם ושרה. יהי רצונו שיצליח בדרכו ויראה בכל מעשה ידיו ונאמר אמן. May God, who blessed our ancestors, Abraham and Sarah, Isaac and Rebekah, Jacob, Rachel and Leah, bless you, Noach Malachi, who has cast his lot with the people Israel. He is a Ger Tzedek among the people of the God of Abraham and Sarah. May he prosper in all his worthy endeavors. May the work of his hands be blessed. And together we say, Amen. And we say to you, Yevarchecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha. May God always guard you and keep you. Yair Adonai panav elecha ve'yichuneka. May God's face always shine towards you, and may God always deal graciously towards you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha ve'yasem lecha shalom. May God's face, may God always deal with you and grant you the most important blessing, the blessing of shalom. Amen. And you can be seated, but they're going to sing for you Shechianu. Turn again to page 250 to bless the Torah after the reading from the Torah. Please, Alan, lead us. We turn now to page 293. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. On this Shabbat, we remember especially Joshua Fink, Raymond Allen Sr., Charles Davis, Louis A. Horowitz, Arthur Markovitz, Ruth Run, Manuel Weinberg, Charles Friedman, William Bill Stewart, Tamopol, Hannah G. Weber, Steve Weinstein, Joanne Wool, Irma Bensinger, Hilda Blumenson, Dan C. Bick, Gertrude Katz, Jay Kobe, Alan Berlow, Max Oppenheimer, Betty Shatramp, Nancy Berlow, Marie Fleischaker, Gary Hacker, Laura Kobe, Michael Lerner, Abraham Rosenzweig, Eda Sirad, Jonas Baker, Irving J. Carl, Paul Baker, Mira Goldstein, Mina Kobe, Edward Platoff, Ray Webman, Esther Winkler, David Radman, and in recent days, Maya Schneidman, Sophia Zilberman. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those who we have drawn into our hearts with our own. With the blessed memories of our loved ones in our hearts, we rise as we turn to page 294 for the Mourner's Kaddish. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ועלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעלם ולעולמי עלמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה על שמי דקודשה בריחו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, ואמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. זיכרונם לברכה. May the memory of our loved ones come to be a blessing and a benediction to us all. Amen. Our closing song is Oseh Shalom.
Oseh Shalom, Bimromav, Yaseh Shalom,
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Please say Shabbat Shalom to someone that you do not know, also to people you do know. And please join the Brotherhood to a shot of bourbon and also the best gravlax Michael ever made with great matzah. Shabbat Shalom.